Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, we're going to tell you about an explosive interaction between CM Punk and another top AEW star.
Could Triple H be set to sign a former NXT star?
We've got some unique WWE plans for Austin Theory and the Money in the Bank briefcase to go over.
And I'm going to tell you the original plans for Sami Zayn and the Bloodline. I'm Adam Wilborn.
And I'm Andy Murray.
And this is the news.
We're going to start things off by covering a breaking report, really. I mean, Fightful only dropped this like an hour and a half ago. It's wild. I don't expect to wake up and see a scoop ski happening in real time. They usually come when I'm asleep, man, because I'm very sloth-like. However, Fightful have come through. Chris Jericho, man, this is his wording. Called CM Punk a cancer to the AEW locker room and a detriment to the company as a whole after the events, obviously, of All Out. So Jericho, obviously, he was unhappy with Punk over the fight. In the comments at the press scrum, he approached Punk, he told him this, said this directly to him, letting him know. And while there's no word on Punk's specific response, exactly what he said, it is believed to have been along the lines of telling Jericho that it was none of his business and he should go away. So Jericho has obviously assumed to a leadership role, like a bigger leadership role. You'd assume that he probably had one before because he's like a senior dude and he's had a long career, he's very successful. But since all of this panned out, it's been him, Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley. They've been the three guys who have reportedly grown into bigger locker room leader roles in all the wake of this. So it makes sense that Jericho will be the one to go up and go, hey, this wasn't cool. I don't like that verbiage. I don't like using that disease's name as in this kind of context. I think we could use different terminology, for sure. But it's quite clear what his message is. It's quite clear what his intentions were, Jericho's. And he's obviously stuck up to Punk there. Evolving situation. You know the story with Punk. He's probably leaving. I think a major story on that's about to break. I don't know, but my scoop sense is tingling.
Yes, I get the feeling that we're going to be back in here at some point today, probably discussing something. I agree. And it just seemed like the more and more of these reports, because obviously we had the initial reports, then it all went a bit quiet and it was mere speculation online, basically, because of this third-party investigation that was going on. Subsequently, now we're getting more reports and, obviously the tease of the Elite on Dynamite, and the stuff about Larry coming out. It does feel like this thing's coming to a close. Yeah. More and more stuff's coming out. I agree with you on the whole verbiage thing. You could quite easily have said, you're the worst thing that happened to this company, or what, just the detriment line, gets his point across. Yeah. And also, I've just remembered his thing with Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. He's got a track record of confronting people very high up within a company, and, he stands up for himself.
And of course, he was going to bite Brock Lesnar's nose off, lest we forget. A detail I should have included there when talking about the story, Fightful confirmed with a source close to CM Punk that this interaction did take place. They did ask Jericho and AEW for comments as well, but they hadn't heard anything back at the time of publishing. So there you go, full story. Situation rumbles on.
Exactly. Yeah, we are going to be back in here later today, aren't we? Yeah. Something big's going to happen. I can feel it in the waters.
Get ready.
Right. So let me tell you about a new person who could be returning to WWE under the Triple H management, and that is Chelsea Green, formerly of Impact.
Green, I'm wearing green. We're green in the background. Green is the colour.
PW Insider giving us the report on this. She's recently wrapped all her commitments within Impact, so she is a free agent, and that kind of paves the way for her to return to WWE. Obviously, what they say here is that she probably wouldn't have finished up in Impact if she wasn't going somewhere else. The subject of her going back to Stamford has been, rumoured within Impact circles for quite some time. WrestleVotes reported on WWE's interest in having her return earlier in the month, and she also tweeted, left you all vxed from the beginning. With a photo of her from Impact and Deanna Pratt, hinting presumably at her departure from Impact Wrestling. Obviously, she was on NXT. She popped up to the main roster for a cup of coffee, didn't she?
Broke her wrist, that four-way match.
Got injured. I was disappointed in that because I do think she's got a lot of potential for a big show, whether it be AEW or WWE. It appears to be WWE. More women, good.
Yeah, for sure. She had a weird year, didn't she? Her last year in WWE. She was off NXT for ages. She had that main roster match. She unfortunately broke her wrist, and then she was released, I think, in June 2021 or April, maybe that kind of area. Went back to Impact. She did some Ring of Honor stuff. Yeah, great. understandable. Like Triple H is like, hey, I really liked you when I had you in NXT, and I wish you'd never been released. Probably Chelsea falls into that category. Very talented human being, a good addition to the roster. Good for her. Awesome, sick, great.
Yeah, exactly. I think, for quite some time within WWE, they've had a phenomenal women's division. And then you're thinking it's getting right, not Sasha Banks necessarily, because obviously everyone wants Anna Naomi for her to come back. Yeah. But you're like, okay, it's kind of the established order. Now you've got, Io Shirai, Dakota Kai, Candice LeRae, Chelsea Green. I'm excited, man, for this women's division.
Yeah, stack it up. Stack it up, baby. You need because the longest thing for the women's division in WWE has been the top level stuff has been great. They pushed Bianca and the Horsewoman and Alexa Bliss and a bunch of other people quite well over the years. But oftentimes it has been, okay, the title program rules, but what's going on beneath it? Now you've always had the opportunity to do more, but under Triple H, it's likelier to happen because Vince McMahon absolutely sucked.
Yes.
In his latter years especially.
And now the talent in that WWE Women's Division is absolutely scary. Speaking of scary...
Oh, transition.
Monday is, of course, Halloween. We have the flatty in the background today. We normally have our logo on normal days of the week that aren't so wacky. But it is over to you. Submit your creations for the background Monday for the spooky news.
Here's what the best way to do that would be to tweet us at Andy H. Murray and at Adam Wilborn, but use the hashtag This Is The News so it's easier for us.
This is the spooky news.
Yeah, it's easy. Wow. What should we do? Should we do This Is The News or This Is The Spooky News?
This is the booze.
All right, we've just given you
7 all of them.
million. Use hashtag This Is The Spooky News. Make a weird thing. We'll put the funniest one in the background. We'll give you a
shout selection out. If we can be bothered.
Yeah,
it's Monday, it's hard.
It's awesome. We'll be dressed up as whatever we have through the house. Really,
spooky costumes we can find at 5 to 9.
See what I can find lurking outside in Gateshead to put on my face. Probably
there's quite a few people I see walking around here going, "Oh, that's cool. That's a cool Halloween costume." Wait a second, it's April.
That's just me on Hamlet on my way to the office, isn't it? That's really rude, actually. But we're going to speak about some stuff now. Yes, good transition there, Andy. Austin Theory, right? WWE might have something unique up their sleeve when it comes to him and his Money in the Bank, briefcase, contract, all of that. So I was actually going to throw this on the news video yesterday, but it was we just didn't have room. But I'm going to do it today. I'm going to do it anyway. It's part of this new partnership. WrestleVotes and Give Me Sport or Louis Dangour. They're producing a bunch of stuff together, and it's good stuff. So the idea, I'll just read it to you from WrestleVotes. There is an idea that Austin Theory is going to be the first guy to wait a full year, like the day of, let's say, Money in the Bank or the night of Money in the Bank next year. Ooh. So to the next premium live event. That's the storyline. You have to cash this in 2.5 hours. You have to cash this in 90 minutes. That type of thing. I know that this idea is on the table. So it's not definitely going to happen, but it's something that has been brought up at least or devised or whatever according to this report right here. I think that's very interesting. I like it's somewhat unique.
Yes.
It's not just, the usual song and dance with the cash in and all of that stuff. It's the clock is ticking, my man, because someone else is going to win a briefcase in an hour. You need to do it. You need to hurry. It puts the pressure on the guy. It puts the champions probably sitting there like, all right, I'm just going to lock myself in my locker room so you can't get near me, pal. That's what I would do. But yeah, I think that's interesting.
Yeah, I like this idea, but the way I'm about to describe it is going to be incredibly backhanded in its compliment. This is the best of all the bad ideas they've had with Austin Theory as Mr. Money in the Bank. Teasing him to win the NXT Championship was... I wasn't around, I was on holiday, but I was like, what? When I saw that.
Why?
Okay, I sort of understand it in terms of, you can't have him beat or cash in on Roman, and we've had far too many fails for this briefcase.
He's been really geeked out, hasn't he?
Yeah, and Theory, yeah, exactly. He's gone down the route of lose, and it's not like, okay, lose, but when he wins the world title, you're like, is he going to win the world title? If Roman's still champion, there's no chance of that. But I like this as an idea, especially because it's so way off in the future, May next year?
Yeah.
That there's a chance that maybe it's not going to be the all-conquering Roman Reigns. You finally have... I know that's going to mean, whoever beats Roman's going to have a couple of months title reign at best by that Adam. But, yeah, I think the idea of a little clock going, you're going to need to do something. Like you say, if you're the world champion, why wouldn't you just... leave?
Yeah. I would just go home.
But I am intrigued by this, and like I say, it's the best thing I've heard someone pitch for this. other than, I don't know, when initially Johnny Gargano came in, and I went, I'll just give him the briefcase.
Yeah, Gargano has turned into a strange character as well on TV, isn't he?
I'm a little bit nervous.
I got a cowboy hat. All right.
Why is JBL back on my TV screen?
I've been wondering that ever since.
But we talk about Roman Reigns and the Bloodline there. Really interesting report coming out from Mirror Sports. Oh, welcome to the party, pal.
Interviewing.
They were chatting with Sami Zayn. Norrin Flanders chatting to Sami Zayn, and he revealed the original plans for the honorary use or Sami Zayn's involvement in the Bloodline, and it was a lot less than what's actually happened. I'll just read what Zayn said here. This is one of the more filled out long-term stories I've ever been a part of. It's long even by WWE standards. Usually we might do 2 or 3 month stories, but I've been aligned with the Bloodline in some respects since April, and we're still only kind of scratching the surface as to where this is going to go. The initial idea was just to have some on-screen interactions every now and again, because it made sense as the self-proclaimed locker room leader. I should have a good rapport with the head of the table. We were cooking up with that idea. He says this storyline, as often they do, has taken on a life of its own, all thanks to WWE's crowds. He doesn't know where it's going himself. Well, he wouldn't tell you even if he did.
That's right.
But he says because of this audience investment, people are going to be along for the ride regardless. You and I have discussed this on multiple occasions, Andy. It's the best thing WWE's got going for it right now.
Yeah, it's really great. And this is like, it's just really good booking, because it's all very well having these grand plans and you know, we'll just do a couple of interactions, we'll just build this relationship, but like if the crowd is really responding to something, you lean into it and you go in the direction that takes you, while, you know, also keeping your own long-term vision in mind. It's just really smart, good stuff across the board. Can't really praise it enough. And it leaves you with all kinds of interesting possibilities. Look, coming out of this, right, we could feasibly get Sami versus Roman for the title to headline a pay-per-view. We could get Sami versus Jay. In fact, we probably will get Sami versus Jay. And then you have all the Kevin Owens possibilities. Maybe Zayn and Owens are the ones that dethrone the Usos. You can do some really cool stuff with Solo and like royalties and stuff. It's really great, and it opens up all kinds of possibilities. You could probably get like 6 months to a year of TV out of this. I hope they do. I hope it stays awesome. I hope it stays over. And I don't see why it wouldn't, because Sami Zayn is just great.
Yeah, it's nice as people who've been fans of Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens since they arrived on the main... Well, you've probably been fans before them, but for myself, when they arrived on the main roster especially, you really got behind them and you were like, you're really trudging through the mud here.
Yeah.
Like, Owens had a great start and then he just
lost. Yeah.
And then, you know, Zayn was... Well, they booked Zayn. He just has had to go through the mill for 5 odd years. It's just so nice to see both of them. Obviously, Owens getting his WrestleMania stuff with Stone Cold, and now Sami Zayn getting all this and getting the goddamn recognition he deserves. More so from the higher ups, I suppose, within WWE. It's just lovely to see, and I'm very happy for the honorary use. Acknowledge it.
Sami Zayn for me, TV MVP of WWE this year.
Yeah.
There we go. I don't know if that's a hot take or not. It's probably not, but
I think it's a fair assessment, is what it is.
Speaking of hot takes, would you like some questions?
Yes, please.
I've gone a bit nuts. I picked 5.
Whoa!
Right, let's go.
Let's go.
First one today comes from JR.
Oh,
not that JR.
Oh.
Hank Halloween version. All right, there you go. What would be the funniest destination for CM Punk post AEW? They've got NWA, Impact, Freddie Prinze Jr.'s new promotion, WOW as a commentator.
Right.
AJ Lee's doing commentary there, so it makes sense. Or a Wrestling Society X revival. Are you familiar with Wrestling Society?
I think I'm vaguely aware of.
It was like this studio. It was really weird. I think it was on MTV. I actually used to have the DVDs. It was like this in-studio wacky kind of Lucha Underground, but not like dragony. If that makes like They had bands playing and stuff, and it was weird. But yeah, what do you reckon, man? Like,
what's the wording? What's the most ridiculous?
Yeah, the funniest. The funniest. So
I mean, the funniest is WWE.
It really is.
But
for Reddit,
was NWA on there?
NWA is on there.
100% NWA, because I can't wait for the people online to be like, always been a fan of that NWA. Have you?
Yeah. Can't wait to see him tie up with Tyrus. Yeah. That's going to be good.
I've got to be honest. My experience of the NWA is chatting to Thingy when he was world champion, and the promo from Eli Drake. Yeah.
Unreal.
What was he in NWA?
He was the Eli Drake.
He was Eli Drake.
Yeah. That's our step.
LA Knight, yeah.
There's a different energy when you're stepping. Yeah, Eli Drake rules.
Let me talk to you.
I will say, Freddie Prinze Jr.'s wrestling promotion sounds nuts. Like, I really want to see this.
I'm excited.
Honestly. I think he spoke about holding shows on our bar roof, and he wanted to sign The Fiend. It sounds incredible.
Could Scooby-Doo wrestle in that? Because wasn't he involved in...
I think Scooby-Doo.
CM Punk versus Scooby-Doo.
Larry versus Scooby-Doo.
Oh, the eel!
The eel's taking a bump. You haven't even seen him yet, but he just took a bump. There you go.
That was a spider from yesterday.
I will say, equally funny, my favourite promotion, DDT, CM Punk versus the Giant Panda, CM Punk versus the Blow-Up Doll.
Yeah.
Don't tell me you wouldn't want to see that. Boogeyman's been on.
Oh.
The Oogie Boogeyman.
I really hope so. I saw a thing where he might be returning to WWE, and I was like,
yeah.
And then I remembered it's Halloween.
Triple H is signing everyone at the moment, man. It kind of rules.
He's going to show up on Raw on Monday, isn't he? I've just realised, because it's Halloween.
It's Worm Day, isn't it?
I love the Boogeyman, by the way.
You know what else is showing up on Monday? Pumpkin Demon.
What?
There you go. Finn Balor.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Good. Gonna fight Sister Abigail. Boogeyman wants to know, if you had to choose one pet to protect your house from intruders, what would it be? This is good. The Flatty, the Eel, or his brother, the Eel, or C, Ace Steel.
It's Ace Steel, isn't it?
Yeah, he'd bite you, man.
Because the Flatty would be the best serious, like, if there's people already on the property, the Flatty's dealing with
Flatty's taking you out.
But the sign, just the sign of Ace Steel and that face that we've all seen,
that one.
Like, people are going to go, hey guys, what's this sign? No.
Let's go next door. Hell no. You seen the bite marks on Kenny Omega's arm, man.
You know, like, it'd be one of those, like, how do they word it? Like, I can make the gate in 3 seconds, can you?
Yeah, there you go, man. Like, that's the thing, like, the Flatty, obviously, if you broke in, right, he would ruin your life. He would death roll you to hell. But Ace Steel's more of a deterrent, I completely agree.
Exactly.
Also, the Eel, my t-shirt is the colour of the eel.
Oh,
tremendous.
He's blending in.
Tremendous.
He knows how to camouflage.
The thing about the eel is that he would just be vibing with the spider, wouldn't he? So he'd be useless.
He'd come back and you'd be like, what are you doing,
the
eel?
The eel.
The whole has been robbed.
Yeah, it's just vibing.
He might be on the inside job as well.
Might be his. He might have
I don't trust that guy.
Cocaine in the river, man. You can't trust him.
He's got a habit to feed.
Nick has been on and said, you are tasked with creating a wrestling promotion that uses only non-wrestling celebrities as its wrestlers. What matches are on the card for the first ever pay-per-view of this celebrity wrestling promotion? I've got one in mind already. Piers Morgan.
Oh, God.
Versus Guy Fieri. Because I really want to see Guy Fieri beat the piss out of Piers Morgan.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's the biggest baby face.
Versus the biggest heel.
Yeah.
Perfect.
God, I hate Piers Morgan so much.
He's terrible.
Dave Benson Phillips wants to get into wrestling, doesn't he?
Yeah,
host of Get Your Own Back.
Versus Pat Sharp.
Yes.
Who's the best host?
Yeah, I think, it's got to be, and that's obviously a special guest referee.
Yeah.
Blobby.
But Mr. Blobby, obviously.
Non-wrestling celebrities.
Well, we've had Scooby-Doo, so let's get Scooby-Doo versus Larry on the card.
Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo, they
against Larry and Ace Steel. Non-wrestling celebrity Ace Steel.
That is ironic because there's a heel in each corner there, arguably.
Yeah, absolutely.
Scrappy-Doo's such a little knobhead, isn't he?
There you go.
Women's match. I'll pick one woman celebrity. You pick a woman celebrity. I'm going to go Anne Robinson.
Of course,
the weakest
you
link.
come for Anne Robinson.
Good promo she'd be. She's going to sell the match. You're going to have to pick someone who's going to lead her through it. I've got it. Vanessa Feltz.
All right, okay.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Go.
Also, biggest heels in the business, intergender, Holly and Phillip off of This Morning versus, what's her name, Alison, who does it?
I don't
Alison
know.
Hammond. She's a big baby. And Dermot O'Leary. And the winner gets to present This Morning going forward. I'm sorry to our international viewers. That will have not meant anything to any of you.
All right, we got two more here.
Go check out Alison Hammond. She's a national treasure.
We've got one question that's going to kill you and one that's going to kill
me.
Good.
Okay, I'm ready.
So Adam Wilborn has one hit. This is from Mark Smith. Sorry, Mark. Adam Wilborn has one hit with the brass knuckles to stay alive. By order of the Eel's brother, the Eel, who are you hitting to stay alive? MJF or Tony D'Angelo?
Oh, right.
You have to punch one in the face.
I got really excited there. I thought you were going to let me punch anyone with brass knuckles, and I was like, oh my God, I get to do it. Jacob Rees-Mogg immediately. It's got to be.
Who you punching? Who you
it's got to be Tony D. You know why? Because MJF, there's an opening now. Now Stokely's betrayed, and there's an opening for MJF's best friend, and I'd really like to re-solidify that position. And I don't think there's any coming back if I chin him. And Tony D, like, Tony D understands it's just business.
Yeah,
It's just business. And Stacks, you know Stacks got my back.
Well, that's very appropriate because our final question of the day comes from Lee Wainwright. Don't do that.
Sorry.
Who asks, what's the blueprint to get Stacks on the main roster? Go.
Oh, Stacks should come in and squash Brock Lesnar. Yeah. You know the match, you got a crown jewel. You got Brock Lesnar and you got Bobby Lashley. Stacks comes in, pins both those motherfuckers, and goes on to win the world title at Wrestle Goddamn Mania.
You're not supposed to swear.
Sorry, Phil. We'll put it in this little box here.
Well, we said the F word with a P and an H instead of an F.
Exactly.
So it doesn't count. Okay, Phil.
It doesn't count.
Yeah, it doesn't count. You saw it. The flatty saw it.
Go on YouTube, technically doesn't count.
I saw what I saw. The eel will vouch as well. All right, let's wrap it up. What you got for the end finally, baby?
I forgot to do one.
All right, cool. Let's just wrap it up.
That's right, we've gone long anyway.
Do a
Phil. Your and finally is, don't forget to send us those Halloween pictures for Monday. There.
Your and finally is today's WrestleCulture quiz, by the way.
Oh, yes. It's a good one because I've not done it.
Phil's created it, and I've heard it's good.
Oh,
so,
good.
Yeah.
WrestleCulture, WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcast from. Right, let us know your thoughts, all the mad stuff, and most importantly, of course, this is the spooky news pictures at WhatCulture WWE on Twitter. You can follow both of us there. You can follow Andy Murray
at Andy H. Murray. The H stands for, first of all, have a nice weekend.
Indeed.
Second, hey, listen to Crowhurst. Really noisy, but if you're into that kind of harsh, abrasive stuff, give it a go. And shout outs to my friend Jay as well. Shout outs to Executioner's Mask too. You want some Sad Boy stuff? Check them out too. Great stuff. Very talented man and all his talented friends making good music.
Go and listen to some Daddy Freyr, the Icelandic Eurovision
There you
entry.
go. Two different guys.
Today.
I love it.
Very different.
Like some noisy black metal grindcore or Eurovision. You got this. You get both flavors, man.
Exactly.
You get both flavors.
It is a Neapolitan ice cream. This news.
Nobody does it like us. Everyone else is out there listening to Nickelback.
Oh, Rihanna's got some new music. Who cares?
Oh, have you heard this new song by Coldplay?
Alex Turner's driving a car or some bollocks.
Who's Alex Turner?
Literally my favourite band of all time. I don't know why I've just done that.
Yeah, me too, man. I absolutely hate the band Death Heaven. They're terrible. That's my favourite band. We're balancing it out.
Adam Wilborn on Twitter, at WhatCulture WWE for all of us. My thanks to Andy Murray, thanks to the Flatty. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.
Probably got sweat patches, but I'm flexing anyway, baby.